A very happy morning to one and all present here. I, Dr. Malti Selvakumar, take great pleasure in welcoming you back for the second day's faculty development program on transforming education, the Google Classroom Way, hosted by Aachi Institute of Management and Entrepreneurial Development in Chennai. Today's session will be handled by Mrs. Sivaranjani, a technology analyst of a leading IT firm in Chennai. She will be teaching you how to use Google Forms. Today's technology forces us to use Google Forms for several purposes like party invites, for webinars, seminars, faculty development programs, student development programs, and also for budding research scholars for the data collection. Let's see how Mrs. Sivaranjani is going to add on to our knowledge to learn how to use Google Forms for our research purposes and for our daily communication. Wishing you all a very happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Once again, welcome you all. Today's session, we are going to check on Google Forms. So in Google Forms, we are going to see how to create forms and what are all the types of forms and how we can customize the forms and how we can share those forms to the participants and how can we manage their responses. So let's go. So in Google, you can either type for Google form or you can type forms.google.com. So you need to sign in using your Gmail account. You can open Google Forms from your drive also, Google Drive also. Okay. So this is your Google Forms homepage. But with your another way, you can type Google Forms here in Google. And if you open, yeah, you'll be getting like this. So in this, you'll be getting by default, you'll be getting some templates over here. See, if you see the templates, you can get the idea where and all you can use these Google Forms. Okay. So first one is for that event registration. Suppose in your colleges, if you're going to conduct some events, for that also you can use Google Forms, and it's a party invites, it's for some personal things, and to get the contact information also you can use Google Forms. So here are the templates, by default templates available, and what are all the work related templates available, and what are all the education related templates available here, that you can see over here in the template gallery. When you come to an education industry, you can use this Google Forms for quiz, for registrations and FTPs and SDPs and course evaluations. You can use as a worksheet. So for these purposes, we can use Google Forms. So without any delay, let's start to create a new form. So again, I said, if you wanted to use a template, you can use, otherwise you can go for a blank form. So let me start with blank form. Let's say we are going to create a registration form, okay, for any new FTPs or STPs or whatever you wanted to use the registration form, you can do it. Okay, so you can customize this form based on your requirements. To customize this form, you have that customize theme button here. If you click on that, you will be getting the theme options over here. If you wanted to add any header image, you can click on choose image. Okay, so there will be some default themes available over here. You can select any one from that. Otherwise, you can upload your own logo of your institution. For that, you have to browse here. Okay, so I'm going to use from one of these themes. Okay, once you selected the header, it will be applied over here. Okay, and after this, if you wanted to select any theme color, you can select over here. If you want to add any new, you can select customize color from here also. And background color, that means the background color of your form. So you can select any gray or white within these 4 colors available here. Okay, and font style, if you wanted to change your font style, you can do it over here. I'm simply using basic since I'm going to use for registration. Okay, once all this done, you can give your title of the form. Okay, so the title will be like let's say it will be FDP registration. In description, like you can give the dates, and timings, or anything related to your FDP. Once this is done, you can get the you have to get the information from the participants like name, their phone numbers and email address. So these are the basic information you have to get it from the participants. Okay, so before you wanted to create an field for email ID, so if you check in settings, sorry, if you click on send button, there is an option called collect email address. Okay, if you check on this, by default it will collect the email information of the participants. So if you check on this, you don't need to create an email address field over there in your registration form. Okay, so if you check on this in the title frame itself, you'll be able to see the email address field. Okay, then you should get the name of the participants. So once you enter the field names, it will automatically choose related response type. Okay, in response type we have so many options, short answer, paragraph, or multiple choice you are going to get, or when you select check boxes, you will be providing option to select more than one answer to the participants. You can use drop down to provide your responses. And file upload is to collect any photographs, or in case if it is an registration for a job, you can collect resumes also. So to collect any file types from the participants, you can use file uploads. And these three linear scale, multiple grid choice, and checkbox grid and all, you can use in feedback forms. And date and time, you can in a registration case, we can use it for date of birth fields and any other date related fields. Okay, so these are the response types available in Google form. So for name, by default it will be short answer. Okay, so if you feel this must be entered by the participant, I mean, if this is mandatory, you can set this required option to on. That means this field is mandatory. Without entering this field, you cannot submit the form. Okay, and if you wanted to copy this question, you can use this particular option, copy button over here. If you wanted to delete, you can click on the delete button. And this required I have already explained. Like if you feel this field as mandatory, you can on this button. I mean, you can select this option. And if you check for more options, there will be description and response validations will be available. Okay, so when you come to response validations, if you wanted to validate your response, like whatever the answers that was given by the participants, if you wanted to validate, you can do that. Okay, so in response validations, if you see, you'll get options, I mean, to validate a number, a text, or the length of the text entered by the response participants, and you can use regular expression. Okay, so in our case it is text. Here we have options for text as contains, does not contain, email address, and URL. Okay, so for name and all, we don't require this response validation, so I'm unchecking this option. Okay, so let's move on to add the another next question. Okay, next question is to get the phone number. So I'm clicking on add new question. Contact number to be captured. Again, it will be a short answer. So for phone number, we can have some validations. Like it should be in this field, they should enter only numbers. Okay. So I have selected number and I'm checking whatever they have entered is number. And in the error text, like if they doesn't enter number, or if they enter in wrong format, this error message can be viewed. So I'm just saying, please enter 10-digit number. So I'm setting this as mandatory. So email address is already available. So that's why I didn't give field for email address. So next, we'll check for multiple choice options. Okay. So in options, you can enter your options. So since this program is for 2 days, I'm just giving those options. Here, I wanted the participants, either they can attend one day or they can attend both the days. So I'm giving checkbox options so that they can select both the days. Okay. And after that, I'm trying to add one more question. Gender. Here, see, this is a general question. That's why the options are coming as a suggestions. Okay. Here, see, if you wanted to, I can type one more time. See, let me delete this question and add one more time so that you can see the suggestions. See, if you see, for the gender, we can use female and male options. This is the suggestion given by the Google. Okay. So for general questions, we will be getting suggestions like this. Okay. So now we'll add a option to image capture the images. Like for any registration to student registration or any other registration, we can get the file uploaded, right? So for that, we'll try. So we'll add a new question. Please upload your passport size photo. So in this, we need to capture file upload as a response. Okay. So it's giving suggestions. Files uploaded to the form owner's Google Drive. Respondents will be required to sign in to Google when the file uploaded questions are added to the forms. Like it's saying whatever the files uploaded by the participants will be added to the editor's Google Drive. That means the owner's Google Drive. So participants need to be signed in using their Gmail ID. I'm just giving continue. So it is giving options for the file upload, whether you wanted to allow only specific files or how many files you can allow and what was the maximum size. So if you wanted to specify any files, like these are the file types available. So in our case, only images will be enough. And number of files should be 1. The maximum file size can be 1 MB or 10 MB. Okay. And if it is required, you can give, and I'm giving this as an optional. Okay. And one more thing also we can do here, like we can ask the participants to join any WhatsApp group if required. Okay. For that, you need the WhatsApp groups link. Okay. That you can that link can be created in WhatsApp application. So from there, you can copy the link and you can use it over here. So that if the participants wanted to add to our WhatsApp group, they can join using the link directly. So to do this, we can use add title and description. That will be enough because this is not a question. So I'll delete this question. So in title, I'm giving the option. You can join the group. So I have the link for WhatsApp group already. So I'm giving that in description. So my registration form is done. So now I'm going to settings. So before that, I already selected collect email addresses. If collect email addresses is checked, again the response receipt is checked already. Okay, here there is another option to request sign in. Limit to one response. That means if you wanted to limit your participants' response for only one time, you can check this. If you are checking this, the participant need to sign in and then they have to do the registration. Okay, this will limit. This will enable make sure you are not getting duplicate responses. If you didn't check this, there might be a chance of getting duplicate responses. So the next option will be the respondents can. That means the participant can edit even after the submit. Till the registration closes, this will work. Okay, that means you are allowing the participant to change whatever the response they send to you. Okay, and see the summary charts and text responses. Okay, so these are the settings available over here. And if you come to presentation, what do you want to show to the participants? Like if you want to shuffle the question, or if you want to show the progress bar, or if you want to show the link. So that is available over here. And confirmation, once the participant clicked on the submit button, if you wanted to send any message, you can type over here. I'm just typing like thank you for participating. And just clicked on save. Okay, so once this is done, you can preview your form. So you can preview this form using the preview button available on the right corner. So if you click on that form, so you'll be getting the preview of your registration form. Okay, so you need to enter the email ID, name, contact number. These are the mandatory fields, and you have option to select the dates and gender and upload your passport size photo. Okay, and this WhatsApp link also available here. So I feel okay for this form, and I'm going to share this form. Okay, to share this form, you can click on send button. So here you have the option to share it in email, or share as a link in Facebook or Twitter. So I'm going to send this form as a forms to email ID. And before sending, you have a add collaborators buttons over here. If you click on that, see, if you wanted to manage this form along with it with your partner or somebody else, you can add them over here. That means who are all added to in this collaborators, only those persons are the owners of this form, and those persons will get the responses for these forms, and they can manipulate the responses. So I'm just giving email IDs here and I'm sending. So till now I have opened as a form creator and I have shown you. Now I'll just open as a participant and let's check how that form was available to the participant. Okay, so let me log in into a participant mail ID. So here I got the link for the registration. Okay, so if you see, I got the title whatever given and the dates and all, and I have a button for fill out form. So if I click on that, I got the form over here. Okay, so here I got the option whether you wanted to sign up using this particular participant's ID or if you wanted to switch account. Okay, then email address, I'm just entering the email address and name and contact number I have given and which day I'm going to attend and add file. See if I try to add file again, it will give you option to upload for file from your desktop or laptop or from your drive or whatever you worked on previously. Okay, and you can see you have got that WhatsApp link also. So if you click on the WhatsApp link, it will ask you to join the chat. Okay, if you join the chat, you can be added to that group. See here you have option to get the response. If you select this, you'll get the copy of your response. So I'm submitting the form. So whatever message you have entered over there, that is coming. Thank you for participating. Okay, so if you see in your mail, so since you have selected send me the copy of participation, sorry, copy of response, you got the response whatever you sent. Okay, so now I'm going back to the form bonus login. Okay, so now we have created form and we have to know how to manage those responses we got through the forms. Okay, so in responses, if you click on the responses in your form, you can find how many people has responded your form and whatever the details. And who are see I have sent to two people, so from one I have done that and the another participant yet to respond. That's what I'm getting over here. Okay, and I can see the response in graphical format over here for each and every option I have added to the form. Okay, so what and all you can do with this response? See, before sending the form itself, you can go to response and you can create a spreadsheet which can capture all the responses. If you didn't do, no issues, you can still create. Okay, if you click on select response destination, you can create a new spread for the for whatever the responses you got. See, whatever spread you are creating, it will be defaultly added to your Google Drive. Okay, and if you want, you can download the response also. So let me refresh it. Yeah, actually the second participants also accepted the invitation. So I got 2 responses now. So let me check that download option. Okay. So if you download the responses, you'll be getting an zip file downloaded. And if you check in that, I think zip is not installed over here. Yeah. So now you will be able to see the Excel sheet, whatever you downloaded. Okay. So here you can see whatever the responses given by the participants. Okay. Which day they wanted to attend and their email ID, contact number, name, those details and all. Okay. So this is how you can download, and I'll show you the sheet which is saved in Drive also. So I'll open Google Drive. So to open Google Drive, I clicked on my Google menu, just clicked on Drive. So in this FTP response, this is what I have just created. So I'm just opening that. So here also you can see the same thing. Okay. So this is how we have to work on our responses. So you can take the printout option. Option is also available. Okay. If you wanted to print all responses, you can select and you can delete also. So this is how a registration form we can create using Google Forms. Okay. So let me check for the second options, like feedback form. So how we can create a feedback form. Okay. So for that, again, I'm creating a new blank form. So giving the title as feedback form. So I'm just giving the descriptions. Okay. So here I'm going to add the questions which is related to feedbacks. Okay. So the first my question is, how would you rate the content? So since it is a feedback, and I have added how would you rate, the response will automatically set to linear scale. Okay. Linear scale means it will just give a options to select 1 to 10. Like for 1 to 5, what will be the label that you can explain over here? Like from very bad to very good, like that. Excellent. Okay, and I'll show you the another type of feedback, like to get for by topic wise. Like we have seen this 5-day session also, we are going to see about different topics, right? So I'm just going to get the feedback for each and every topics. So let's see how we can get those feedback. So it's automatically selecting multiple grid choice. Okay, so for the row 1, I have given us Google Forms and Google Meet. So these are the topics we are going to check, and in the columns I have given given option as dissatisfied, highly satisfied. Okay, so when you see in preview, you'll be able to understand how we'll get this. And I'll add one more option for the multiple checklist also. Days of session participated. For this, I have selected checkbox grid. Okay, so I'm giving the days of the sessions. And in columns, I'm giving morning and evening. So now let's preview these options. Okay, this feedback form. As I said already, you can click on the preview button on the right corner, so you can see your feedback form. So for the linear, you're getting options like this. So from 1 to 5, so if you select 1, it will be very bad, and if you select 5, it will be excellent. So like this, you can select over here. And for that options, for topic wise, you have options to select dissatisfied, satisfied, and highly satisfied. So 3 options available by topic wise. And here also, if you got checkbox option to select both the options or all the options. So this is how our preview will be. Okay, I hope you understand the feedback form part. And if you wanted to in response, see, if you wanted to create a spreadsheet before sharing the form, you can create using this button. There is a create spreadsheet button over here. If you click on that, you can give the name FTP feedback response. Okay, so now you can send the form. So this time, since this is just an feedback, I didn't collect any email address this time. So I'm just directly sending out to the participants. You have one more option, include form in the mail. Like if you select this, you'll get the form in, you'll get as a form option in the mail itself. Okay, so I'm just selecting and sending. So let me open from participants email ID. So I'm getting back to participants email ID. Here I got the email for the FDP feedback form. So if I click on that, since I have included the form in that mail, I'm getting in this form directly. Earlier, I think you remember, like when we get the link for registration form, we just got a button. Okay, if you click on that, it will open in a different page and there you have entered the responses. So now if you see, you got the form within your mail itself. So it's up to you to decide whether you wanted to display the form in the mail or in a different page. Okay, so the participant is giving their responses and they can submit. It is asking how you want to show to submit. If I give okay, the feedback form will be submitted. So I'm going to Google Form owners page. And I wanted to see the response over here. So whatever the response, I mean the feedback shared by the participants, it is available over here in the graphical format. Okay. So other than that, if you wanted to see that in spread, we have created the call spread already, right? So here you'll be able to see at what time they have submitted the response and whatever the response shared by the, I mean feedback shared by the participant, that you can see over here. So I think we have seen about registration and feedback form. Okay, so now let's check on quiz. I'm just giving FTP title as FTP quiz and giving description for this. Participation will get you the certification. So for this quiz also, I'll make the email content as mandatory. Okay, collect email address. So I'm getting the email address on the top. Okay, so now here we'll just have sections. Okay, so earlier in our feedback and registration forms, we didn't use the sections, but in quiz we can use sections. Okay, so whatever the forms, either in registration or feedback or a quiz, wherever you want, you can add a video also, just to let the participants know about your sessions or whatever the theme you are setting, whatever the videos related to that you can upload. Okay, with the videos you cannot set up questions, but with the images you can set up questions. We have already seen how to set up for multiple choices and single line, I mean simple short answer, those things and all we have already seen. So we'll check the response type for others. Okay, let's give the section title. FTP day 1. Google Classrooms. So I'm just questioning like see here, I'll explain you how to add a image based question. Okay, so to add a image based question, in question itself you have an option to add images. Okay, so just click on that. Here you'll be having options to select your images from your laptop or desktop, Google Drive, Google Image Search, or by any URL, or you wanted to select from any camera. Okay, so I'm here, I'm searching in Google's image search. Classroom logo. I'm selecting the logo and clicking on insert button. So it will be find the logo application, Google application of the logo. Logo. Okay, so I'm giving options as multiple choices. Google Forms, Google Classroom, and Google Meet. Okay, so you can give the options. So here you have shuffle options order, like whenever the participants open, uh, the answers may shuffle for the participants, like it will not be in the default order. Okay, so if you wanted to do that, you can select this option. Okay, since it is a quiz in settings, you can go to quizzes and make this as a quiz. If you add this, you'll be getting option to set the answer for your questions. Okay, so I'm just selecting this and clicking on save. So if I done that, you will get an answer key option over here. So if you didn't do that, you will not get it. It will be like a normal form, like any other forms, like registration or feedback form. So since it is a quiz, you have to go to settings and quiz, and on your make this quiz option and click on save. Okay, and you have more options in quiz. If you see uh, the grade, like whatever points they are getting, if you want the participants to see immediately after the submission, or later you want to do any manual review, that also you can select. Here I'm selecting immediately after each submission. So, and also the participant, what are the participants can see, that also you can set over here. Okay, if at all they missed any questions, that also you can set, and whatever the corrected answer and point values. If you wanted to the participants to see all this, you can select, otherwise you can uncheck it. Okay, so answer key, in answer key I'm setting the right answer and I'm giving the points also here. For this I'm setting 10 points. Okay, so we have seen how to add an image based question, and let me add another question with drop down option. So for this short answer, paragraph, multiple choices, checkboxes and all we have seen. Already file upload also we have seen. An image based question we have seen, and we have seen this in feedback forms. So now the leftover is drop down and date information. Okay. So the question will be like is Gmail ID mandatory for to use Google applications? So option 1 is, and option 2 no. So to set the answer key, the correct answer will be S and the points will be 10. So we have used drop down option. So what was the left one? The date field, right? So can set the question when you attended your first, when Google Classroom session conducted. Again, this is just a sample question on that time, so please bear with it. Okay. So I'm giving option to select the date and year, and in answer key I'm setting the points. Okay, so this is how we can set our quiz, and we can preview using the preview button. So it is just need to set the email ID, and since we have separated into sections, we are getting the email ID first, and if we click once we enter the email ID, then only we can move to next session. So here we are getting the questions. Okay, so this is our how our preview will be. So let's share this to participants. To share this, again we have to click on the send button and enter the email addresses. And just click on send. So I'm moving back to participants email ID. So I got the fill out form option. Since I didn't select the include form in email option. Okay, so just entering the mail ID and giving next. I'm selecting the options. Month to 05. Submit. So once you submitted, we have already set to see the score immediately. That's why we are getting view score button. Okay, if you click on the view score button, you can see the answers. Like first one is we have set the answer as a Google Classroom. That's what we are getting here, but we have selected as a Google Meet. Okay, so it is showing what was the wrong answer and what was the correct answer. If you selected correct, it is showing in green. Okay, so this is how we have to use quiz form. Okay, I'm moving back to owner's login. Okay, so let's check what are all the topics we have covered. So we have covered how to create a forms and what are all the types of forms available. I have explained you today about registration form, feedback form and quiz form. Okay, but we have so many other types of form. It is available with Google Forms. You can go and check in Google Form option and templates. Okay, there whatever the possible ways of forms you can create is available. If you want more questions, you can post it in comment section. And customization of forms, we have seen how to add a image to our header of the form and how we can customize the theme and how we can set the background of your forms. Okay, and sharing forms. In sharing forms, we have seen in settings we have seen are we going to collect the forms. Okay, and in send itself we have seen whether we wanted to use the include the form in the email or if you wanted to send us a separate link. Okay, so this is how we have seen about how we can share the forms. Okay, and the last, how to work on the form responses. Like we have seen how we can do with the responses for each and every form. So in quiz also we have seen. Okay, so these responses and all will be always available in chart form, and you can always process your responses. Like you can save the response details and you can print out, and if you want you can delete also. Okay, so you can decide where you wanted to show and even you can download the responses also. Okay, this is how we manage our responses. So I hope I have given I hope I hope I have covered all the topics which I have shared over here. So thanks for the time. And if you have any further questions, please post it on comment section.
All your questions posted on comment section will be answered in the last 2 days of session. Please subscribe to this channel for further notifications and updates. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, participants. I'm sure you had a very happy learning, and Mrs. Sivaranjani added a lot of knowledge to you on how to use the Google Forms for our various purposes in our academic life, like for webinars, seminars, for faculty development programs, and student development programs. I'm sure you have benefited from that. Similarly, a small request from one and all. If you have any queries, please post them to the chat box. Our backend team will be working, collating the questions, and you will get the answers on the last 2 days of our FTP. Please subscribe to our channel for further notification. Tomorrow, Mrs. Sivaranjani will be handling add-ons for you. Have a happy learning. Catch up with you tomorrow.